In 2023, France experienced some of the largest protests in decades. The trigger was simple. The government raised the retirement age by 2 years. 2 years. And the whole country stopped. Most people think a pension works like savings. You work, money goes into a fund, it grows, then one day you retire and draw it down. But in most public systems, especially traditional defined benefit systems, that is not what a pension is. A pension is a promise, a legally backed commitment to pay you a specific amount in retirement. No fund, no vault, just a promise. Here is the mechanism that promise rests on. In pay-as-you-go systems, current workers fund current retirees. When you retire, the workers of that future era will fund you. The system works as long as the ratio holds. In France in 1960, there were roughly 4 contributors for every pensioner. Today, there are fewer than 2. By 2050, projections suggest closer to 1.5. The math did not suddenly break. Demographics shifted, and the promise stayed fixed. Now, here is something most pension explanations leave out. The first generation of retirees in any pay-as-you-go system received full benefits while contributing little or nothing into the system. They received the entire promise. They paid almost none of the cost. Every pension debate since then has been, at some level, about that original transfer. So why design a system this way? Because pay-as-you-go systems allowed governments to begin paying pensions immediately. They did not need to wait decades to build reserves. After the Second World War, governments needed social stability quickly. A fully funded system would have taken a generation to build. The promise could be made the same day. The long-term cost was deferred. The immediate legitimacy was secured. Once that promise is made at national scale, something very specific happens. Older citizens, the group most dependent on pension stability, vote at significantly higher rates than younger adults in most democracies. The group with the most at stake in keeping the promise is also the group most reliably showing up to protect it. This creates a structural paradox. The pension systems that most need reform are precisely the ones that are hardest to reform. The system protects itself, not through conspiracy, but through the ordinary mechanics of who votes and when. Which brings us to what a public pension actually is. It is not a contract between you and your retirement. It is a 3-party arrangement. Current workers, retirees, and a third party, future workers. People who have no vote, no seat at the table, and no ability to negotiate the obligations being set on their behalf. Every pension reform is a transfer between those 3 groups across time. The state sits in the middle, holding a promise made by one generation and owed to another. And that third party, the future worker, is the key to understanding every pension debate you will ever watch. They are not in the room. They cannot protest. They cannot vote. But every decision made in the room is partly made on their behalf, and partly at their expense. France in 2023 was 2 present parties negotiating, government and retirees, debating how much adjustment to pass to a third party who was not present to object. Once you see that structure, the debate stops being about whether pensions are good or bad. It becomes about something more precise. Who pays, and when, and who had no say.